Very good morning to you from Bracknell, boys and girls. It's United Kingdom Talk on this Sunday, the 13th of January 2019. Welcome along, boys and girls. Another year that will pass by in the flash of an eye. Have you ever seen an eye flashing? No. Some people have been covering their eyes. I can't believe how stupid some people can be. Now, apparently, and I haven't seen this yet, there's this film on, I don't know if it's a series or a film called Bird Box. Okay? Now, I haven't seen it yet. A lot of people have, and they're copying what's going on in there. On the BBC News site a couple of days ago, yesterday, I keep meaning to bring this up, police in the US state of Utah. I like that. Do you remember the Utah Saints pop group? Utah. Now, what was the song by them? Utah Saints. Oh, gosh. Very, very big hit in the early 90s, I think it was. Anyway, police in the US state of Utah have taken the unusual step of urging residents not to drive blindfolded. I mean, how stupid can you be? Not to drive blindfolded after an online challenge inspired by a horror film led to a crash. Now, I can't believe anyone would go online and challenge someone to drive blindfolded. Okay, we're not really, if you want to drive blindfolded, I'm not really concerned for your welfare, to be honest. I mean, if you're that stupid, you want to drive alone with a blindfold on or your eyes closed and you crash and you die, well, that's up to you. What I'm concerned about is that other people who are in other cars around you or perhaps driving the other way, or a child crossing the road. A teenager with a hat over her eyes, this is in the BBC website, drove into oncoming traffic in the city of Islington while taking part in the so-called Bird Box Challenge. The craze has come from the Netflix film Bird Box. Last week, Netflix warned fans not to attempt the challenge. Now, I must admit, I'm not one for saying, well, films shouldn't do things like that. So that other people... I mean, if you started doing that, there wouldn't be any films. You can, let me think, imagine, getting on a bike and trying to jump over things like they did on the E.T. film. Not going to work. Not going to work. You can't not do things in films. I mean, we'd never have any horror films. Where would be the great Vincent Price, sucking blood out of people's necks in horror films and stuff like that? There wouldn't be any of that if there were no films. So you're going to have a little bit of, what's the word, fantasy. The Disney films, little Tinkerbell flying off the castle. Now, just because you've seen that in a film doesn't mean you're going to climb up a castle and jump off it, are you? I mean, so I'm not one for saying, oh, you shouldn't do this in films because people might copy it. You got to be really thick to do some of these things. This girl was. What's happened to her? Let's have a look. Did she die? I don't know. I don't know if she died. No, she just crashed. Well, she's lucky she's not dead. This week, the same advice came from a Islington Police Department. It's just inexcusable to do something as dangerous as this, not only to yourself, but everyone else on the road. This policeman said he said it was a warning he never thought he would have to give. Don't drive while blindfolded. This girl is 17 years old. Her 16-year-old passenger and the occupants of the other car all, luckily, escaped serious injury. However, police have requested that the driver be charged with reckless... I think you should bang her up for a few days. That'd teach her a lesson. And film her banged up and show that on the telly, perhaps to stop any other numpties doing this sort of thing. Madness. Absolute madness. In the film, the star plays a mother of two children who constantly wear a blindfold to avoid seeing mysterious... We've got to have a bit of echo for the word mysterious. To avoid seeing mysterious forces. I mean, if I had a blindfold on, you wouldn't see my eyes doing the strange things that they do, would you? Yes, mysterious forces. I'm going to get you. Sorry, I'm getting quite scary. I'm getting carried away with it. Getting carried away with the story now. She tries to guide her children, referred to as boy and girl. Well, that'll upset the people who are going on about gender, won't it? How do you know they want to be a boy or a girl? Have you asked them? No, they want to be a girl because you told them they were a girl. They might want to be a boy. Oh, God, don't start me on that. Referred to as a boy and a girl to safely along a treacherous river and through a dense forest, all without being able to see. So that's the basics of the film. I haven't seen it yet. A lot of people have seen it and they say it's very good and that I should watch it. And I will do at some point. Maybe tonight. I think my mate's coming round. He's coming round for lunch later. My mate's coming round for lunch later. Got lunch going on in the slow cooker at this very moment. We've got a lovely corn casserole. Thank you very much. Yes. Was it corn casserole? Well, I cheated about it. Everything's frozen, to be honest. I won't lie. I couldn't be bothered to chop today. There were no chop. There was no chopping going on in my kitchen today. It's all frozen. Frozen carrots, frozen onions, frozen peas, powdered gravy, put in the slow cooker, been on all night, and I've just added the corn now because you put the corn in for the last sort of 45 minutes. So it absorbed. Oops, dear, I dropped my mouse. Hang on a minute. Has anything happened then? Something could have happened then. I just dropped my mouse. And you put the corn in for the last 45 minutes, you see, and it absorbs. I like that word. It absorbs all the nice gravy powder and all that. So that's what we got for dinner today. He's coming round later. So I might watch Bird Box a bit later on. Unless, of course, there's a new episode of Dynasty waiting to be observed. I shall have a look for that. Okay, right, let's say hello to some of you this morning. Now, just a reminder, gang, if you're on Facebook Live, welcome along. Sometimes your messages don't get to me on Facebook Live. Don't know why that is. If that happens, please use the messenger on Facebook and that will get to me and I'll pick it up there as a little private message, okay, and I'll read it out from there. Please try and be interesting with your messages. Boring messages or messages pointing out something wrong will be ignored. Thank you very much. Angela Walters in Melbourne, Australia. All those miles between us, Angela, and yet you're the first person to be there. Amazing. Amazing. Good morning, Angela Walters. Good morning to Shania on Isle of Wight. She's been out for a walk this morning, haven't you, Shania? Guess what we did at church today, Shania? Joy to the world. Do you like that one? Joy to the world, let earth be done. Something like that. Let earth receive her King. And heaven and nation sing, and heaven and nation sing, and heaven and nation sing. That one might be in my karaoke sections. My karaoke book, rather. I shall have a look for that. I might do that. Good morning, Shania. Good morning to Mr. Dukey Christopher. Tuhoy. Tuhoy. Is that how you say it? Tuohi. How do we say your name? Can you change it for like Smith or something like that, Chris? He says, good morning, handsome. I agree with you. I looked in my mirror this morning, Chris, and God, am I handsome this morning. Morning to you, Adam the Plumber, Diane Jeb, good morning. Good morning to Roy Brownlow, church services with the Reverend Chris. I like it. Talking of reverends, I haven't seen Reverend David for a while. Down at the karaoke on Monday night. I don't know where he's disappeared to. I don't think I've got an email for him either. I must see if I can get in touch with him. I haven't seen the Reverend David for a while. I do hope he's all right. He's a lovely chap, he is. On YouTube, Weird City Citizen is there. Kaboom to you. Good morning. Good morning to Nins. Morning, Nins. John Parrish. Good morning, John. Johnny Key is in the house, as is Karen Louise. Are you on your little boat today? Karen and Louise? They're on their boat. You must have the mobile internet on. Oh, mind you, you're on the phone, aren't you? You're probably on a phone or something like that, I guess. I've got a MiFi in my caravan. Do you know those little portable sort of broadband? Works fantastically. That's how I switch my heating on and off. I've got a little 3 network, and I'm on the 3 network, and it's a little white box it is, and that connects to all my plugs in there, and I can turn the heating on and off. Very, very clever. Very clever what we can do these days. Morning to Ken Lloyd, who's in Canada. Good morning, Ken. You haven't been around for a while. I thought I'd upset you. Good morning, Ken. Brian James, hello. Did you see the video I tagged you in? No, I didn't, Brian. Sorry, mate. I do get quite a lot coming through there. Sometimes I miss stuff, and I'm sorry, Brian, if you sent something there. Okay. What's this? Strange people. Roy, they suck blood out of necks. It's called love bites. Bet you've had a few of them, Chris. Yes, Roy, all over, actually. Bet you haven't, mate. Not with your looks. Good morning to One Show host. Oh, yes, it's Mr. Distiller. Good morning from New York. Morning, Wayne. Long time no hear. Christ, it must have been about a year ago since I heard from you. Hope things are all right in New York. Are you getting cold there now? I was in New York in February, about 5 years ago for my 50th. I hated it. It was so cold. New York is so very cold. January, February, it really is. Here in the UK at the moment, we're experiencing very mild conditions. My hanging baskets, okay, I did hanging geraniums last year. And I put those up April, just after the frost has finished. They are still going. I cannot believe it. They're not only just still going, they're flowering as well. My geranium hanging basket, and they're massive. I can't believe it. They're usually taken down, I don't know, end of October, at least end of October. And also in the back garden, I've got these, I don't know what they're called. I've got these like tall plants. They come up every year. And they must be, let me have a look. How big are they? They've got to be about 6.5 foot, 7 foot tall. And they got purple flowers at the end. And again, they should be dead now. That little area at the back of my garden, I've got this big square area where I've put all plants in and things over the years and bulbs and things like that. Usually, come December, I mow it. It's all dead. The whole thing is dead. And I mow it, all the dead stuff up. It's easier to just put, rather than get the rake out, I just put the mower straight across the whole lot of it and it just picks it all up. No, everything's still growing. Everything's still, second week in January, it's all still growing. The purple things are still flowering. Can't believe it. Never had that. Never had that. Last night, I didn't have a coat on going to work. 12th of January, I've got no coat on. Funny, isn't it? Very strange, dear. This bring on some more global warming. I gather, though, those of you in Australia, we've got a few people who join us from Australia. You're getting hotter and hotter there, aren't you? I know. How much longer can you take that? The heat goes on and on in Australia. Karen and Louise, Horror and Sea Film Festival this week. Lots of I do like a horror film, Karen and Louise. The first horror film that really frightened me was Friday the 13th, the original one. I think I was 16, 17 or 18 and I went to the ABC in Putney to watch that. And me and my mate Philip Thompson, he was in the Scouts with me. We went to see that. I was terrified. These bodies were literally just dropping down in front of you, weren't they? Awful. We do like a horror film. But what is this? Very strange messages coming through there. 35 degrees in Melbourne, Australia tomorrow, Angela. It's a bit too much for me, to be honest. I know you've probably experienced 40, 45 there as well, haven't you? Yes. Glad you're sorting your door out there, John. Good morning to Liam, who wants to know, am I on crack? No. Tea. It's here, look. Strong Waitrose tea. Highly recommended if you want to get high. You don't even have to put it up your nose, dear. Just drink it. You have some more crack if that's what you want. Live and let live. That's what I'd say. Good morning to Shahzeb. Want to talk with you? Well, you are. You are. My daughter heard what you said about my look. And if looks could kill, she just murdered you, Chris. Oh, well, that's say la vie, Roy. Say la vie, mate. You don't expect to be able to talk to me and not to have an answer back, do you, Roy? Come on, mate. Angela loves the heat, but I only play golf in heat that's up to 32. Oh, yes, it's too much. It's too much, that heat. Good morning to Maureen. Hello, Maureen. She joins us on the text messages, text messages this morning. Thank you, Brian, for sending that. And who else have we? Oh, what's that there? Let's have a look. I'm taking Tracy to the... And what's this? Oh, sorry, that's something completely different someone sent. Dana says that jacket looks like my granny's carpet. I hope you like. Do you like it? Morning to Michael Lawrence. You could walk on this. Do you like it? There's another 3 jackets on their way. They come from China, actually. Most of these colourful ones come from China. The normal looking ones are Ted Baker ones. But there's 3 on their way at the moment from China. They're dirt cheap, actually, about 20 quid each or something like that. About $30 or something like that. Liam doesn't like it. Do you not like it, Liam? Sorry, mate. I'll wear something else for you tomorrow, Liam. He says it's hideous. Good. I'm glad it's hideous. Alrighty. Sorry we don't have a show yesterday. I was ever so busy yesterday. I started off the morning a little bit later than usual because I came home and from work Friday night, and by the time I got to bed, I had some dinner, went to bed, and then I got up about 8:30, 8:45, which is about an hour after I like to get up around about 7:45 in the morning. So then I had stuff to do, and I was quite busy yesterday. Started off by going into town. I had a little bit of shopping to do. Went into Morrison's. Very, very disappointed. Now, Morrison's tends... Just a minute, I've got to leave a group there. That's really it. There's a message keeps flashing up there. I'll have to leave that because that's just... okay. Right, there we go. Yes, I went to Morrison's first yesterday, and they put the Quorn steaks up. Now, they were the cheapest place there, £2.50 for Quorn peppered steaks. Next up was Sainsbury's at £2.75. Waitrose are hideously expensive for Quorn steaks. They're like £3.20 there. Now, Quorn is basically a mushroom type thing. You know, it's pretend meat. If you're vegetarian or vegan, I think vegans can have it as well. Then you can have this Quorn stuff. But they've put it up to £2.75. Very disappointing. So I didn't buy them. No, instead I always look for the bargains. Always look for the bargains. And in the frozen section, the Linda McCartney burgers were on special offer. £1.97. Thank you very much. So I filled up my little trolley, my little basket with those. I bought the frozen onions and the frozen carrots for my Quorn casserole that I've got going on downstairs at the moment. So that's all happening. Then I went to the estate agent. Now, as you know, I'm a landlord as well. When my mother and father died, with my half of the money, I put it all into properties, and that was 19 years ago. 19 years ago this year. Since I lost my gorgeous mother. But with my half of the money, I put it into properties. And so that's all rented out through an estate agent. One of them has recently become empty. And in this one, I've had the best tenant you could ever possibly imagine. She's been there for 16 years. She's never ever asked for anything. She had a little leak once from upstairs into hers. So I sorted that out. We had to retile a bit of the bathroom. And I think what else happened in there, I think we might have had to redo the ceiling or something like that. Painted the ceiling. Apart from that, she's never asked for anything. 17 years she is. And every year, you know, when they have the renewal of the tenancy, I would send her a message via the estate agent, you know, is there anything you want done? Bit of painting, perhaps a new carpet? No, that's fine, that's fine. And she always paid her rent. She never, ever asked for anything in that 17 years. Unbelievable. I think there was a new fridge went in there as well, but that's about, or a new cooker, something like that. No, new washing machine. That was it, new washing machine. And she's gone. You know, she's bought her own place, and she left last week. And honestly, you couldn't want a better tenant than her. But, of course, she's now been there 17 years. The flat's never been done out. So I'd already spoken to the estate agent, who recommended new carpets throughout and painting, you know, from top to bottom, and a good clean. I said I agreed to that straight away, so I had to send the money off for that because you have to pay for that before it's done. So I sent the money away from that, and then they said, you know, what about deposit? Do you want to have a look at the, you know, if anything's been damaged? I said, well, for Christ's sake, she's been there 17 years. Just give her a bloody deposit back. I don't even want to see the thing. So she got the deposit back in full, as well as a note of thanks from me for being such a brilliant tenant. Anyway, I thought I'd go and have a look round because there's been a couple of viewings there and it's not been good feedback. You have to remember, everything's going to be worn out in there, after all that time. So I collected the keys from the estate agent. Well, actually, they weren't there. Someone else had got the keys because they had a viewing at 3:30. So I then had to go somewhere else and get the keys from the other estate agent who was out doing the viewings. And then me and my mate, actually, we went up and had a look in the flat, opened the door, and yes, indeed, those carpets are well worn out. Well, you cannot expect someone to move in like that. We're paying good money for rent. I want something to look good. Believe it or not, I'm a really good landlord. I'm really good. If you've got a place for me and something goes wrong, I'll have it fixed tomorrow if possible. Okay? Or even the day before, you even report it. All right? That's what I'm like. I don't want people to move out or be unhappy in one of my little places. Right? So I've gone in there, carpet's well worn, the paint is all tired, and even one of the other things she had a heater breakdown once and the shower, so they were both replaced. And of course, but she had the heater replaced, and it's slightly, although it chucked up the same power, it's smaller than the one that was there. So there's like a bit on the wall where, of course, the paint, it's like, how can you explain it? You know what I mean. Like, you put something smaller on the wall to replace something else, and you've got an area that's not painted. Oh, she didn't ask for it to be repainted. Funny, isn't it, really? But she was happy, so you can see it all needs to be painted from top to bottom. But then there's some blown windows in there. Now, when I say blown windows, double glazed windows, right? Okay, when they blow, that means the bit inside becomes misty. And there's 5 of those that have become misty. Now, usually, sometimes with double glazed windows, you can replace the bit in the middle. So you don't have to go around and replace the entire thing, like, frames and all that. Okay, we want replacement windows. No, we want to repair what's already there. A lot cheaper, and it's unnecessary, usually, to replace the whole frames and everything like that. But on closer inspection, I've looked at these blown windows, and they are misty. They're not like letting in wind or rain or anything like that. They're just misty on the inside, and it looks terrible, really. And you can't see out because of the mist. You can't have all that. You can't expect someone to move in like that. So I looked closer at the windows, and I have a feeling that these are not the ones that I can replace the middle bits because they actually look like they're sometimes with a window like that. Say the window's like that, and then you've got that little bit of wood that goes around there, or plastic, and you would remove that little bit, and the glass would just fall out. You put another bit in and put the wood back, or the bit of plastic. Now it doesn't have that. It looks like one big unit. I don't think that you can remove the glass on it. It's kind of part of the frame. So I have a feeling I'm going to have to do all the windows in there as well. But that's just how it is, unfortunately. I have a feeling. I'm sure I did upstairs. I've got a flat in the same block upstairs, right on the top. And that one, we did replace just the windows. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll send an expert round there, one of the window people, and they'll be able to tell me, he or she will be able to tell me what to do there. And then in the kitchen, the linos come up a bit, so I'll replace the lino in the kitchen. The fridge, it's a good fridge. It's a Bosch. Now, if you've got a Bosch appliance, you will know that these things go on forever. Bosch stuff works and works and works forever and a day. But it looks old. The white has now discoloured yellow. And I'm looking at this, perfectly good fridge. And I'm thinking, oh, no, I don't know. Do you want someone to move in here? And and I thought, no. So we replaced the fridge. The cooker, again, I was looking at it. I thought, well, if you're going to replace that, you might as well replace the cooker. So we replaced the cooker. And the cupboards, there's only 3 cupboards. It's only a small flat. There's 3 cupboards. One in the corner, like a funny door. You open one door and the other one opens as well. So there's one in the corner, one there and one under there, and I thought I'd replace the cupboards as well. I might as well do the old bloody thing while I'm at it, and get that done. And then what else has got to be done? The new toilet seat. I noticed the toilet seat is cracked. You know, don't no, it wasn't me with my fat ass sitting on it. No, incorrect. It's a wooden toilet seat, but it's cracked. And I looked at the crack and I thought, you know, you could sit on that, and if your fat ass made the seat open a bit, then you could get your skin trapped in that little crack. I don't want to be sued for ruining someone's ass. Perhaps I should rephrase that. I don't know. Oh, well, you know what I mean. So new toilet seat on there, and I noticed the fan above is really dirty and it's making a bit of noise. So and that's old. That looks old as well. So either clean that fan out or replace the fan in the toilet. The bathroom's perfectly all right. That had a new shower put in it. Just needs a bit of a clean, really. New lino to go on the floor down there. So quite a bit of work, really, when you think about it. Quite a bit of work, but it all has to be done. So I made my notes, took the keys back to the estate agent. The lady in there, she's not usually the same lady that I deal with, actually, told her about it. She made notes, and that's it. I came, and when I came back here later, I also typed it up in an email to the lady who usually deals with me. And then that's it. That's out of my head now, and they deal with it all. That's the idea of having an estate agent to fully manage your property, right? I can't do DIY. Now, in that flat, there is a door that is not straight on one of the cupboards in the kitchen. Now, I have now decided to replace them, but nevertheless, I thought I'd try and straighten it up. And I'm undoing screws and I'm moving. No, it won't do. No. And I close it and it's still like that. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do DIY. Simple as that. But you see, so I've got my list of stuff. Give it to the estate agent. They will now sort all that out. The lot. People who can do DIY can save a lot of money by doing it all themselves. And a very, very good friend of mine, I won't say who it is because I'm not sure that he wants you to know, but he's recently, he lost a very good friend of his, a very, very good friend of his, and he's left him with the house. How fantastic is that? He's been left a bloody house. A whole house. So he's done it all up himself, got people to doing bits that he can't do. I don't think you're allowed to do electricals anymore in this country. I think you've got to get someone who's passed all sort of laws and certificates and all that business. But he did a lot of it himself, and he would have saved thousands, absolutely thousands doing it yourself, you know. But if you can't, you've got to pay someone to do it. And I just go around, that's got to be done. Thank you very much. Go and do it. Yeah. And for that, I pay a decent monthly fee to them. They deal with the whole lot. You can, if you want to spend the time, you can do the whole thing yourself. You know, from renting it out, collecting the rent in, dealing, you know, you've always got to be on the end of the phone. Oh, hello, my boiler's broken, and that's down to you to sort it out. I don't have any of that. The estate agent does the whole thing. So it's up to you how you do it, really. But that'll all get sorted now, and hopefully everyone will be happy. Not only that, but later on in the afternoon, just before I was going for my afternoon sleep, the phone rang, and they took someone round at 3:30 who was offered the asking price to rent it out, and she moves in end of February. So we've got until, I think, the 20th of February, something like that. They've got until then to sort all that out, and they will have all that sorted out, you see. Again, something I don't have to worry about. You know, if I got someone in, perhaps to do, to recarpet the place, you know, we might get a little like 18th of February, and it's still, and they say, oh yeah, we'd be there tomorrow. That's for me to worry about then. See? And then I'd have to ring up the, oh, it's not quite ready yet. Well, I haven't got to do any of that. It's all down to them. The estate agent does the whole thing. The only time they'll ever ring me up is if, oh, we need to do this. We need some money. Okay, send the money, push a couple of buttons, send them a load of money over, and it's sorted. So much easier doing it like that. It really is. But I'm glad. I'm really glad I went, actually, because it was just the paint and the carpets that they said. But once I saw it, I thought, no, those windows have got to be done. Oh, and the other thing. There's in the cupboard that contains the hot water cylinder, there's like a plastic pipe in there. I know it's an overflow pipe. There's a plastic pipe in there, and it's all bent. It's weird. It's like that. It's like It's like, like it's had some sort of, looks like it's got spina bifida or something like that. This pipe, it's all bent like that. So I'm pretty sure what's happened there, because it's the hot water tank, is that they've had an overflow of hot water and it's bent the pipe. It must have been coming out for some time, but it's bent the pipe. It's actually bent the pipe. So I said to them that needs to be replaced as well. Because I don't know. I mean, would it affect the outlet of water or not? I don't know. But it just looks awful. A pipe needs to be not like that. It needs to be So that was my trip into town yesterday. Very, very busy indeed. After that, I went swimming. Then I went over to my mate's house for dinner. I gave him a couple of my veggie burgers that I'd bought from Morrison's. He'd done some Slimming World chips and baked beans. Then I stopped into Aldi on the way back here. I'm sorry, I just fancied a bit of ice cream. I fancied ice cream. Now, if you go to Aldi, they do very, very similar ice cream to Ben & Jerry's. You know, the Ben & Jerry's lovely ice cream, isn't it? Let's be honest, it's lovely ice cream. But it's bloody expensive. In the co-op, if they've not got a special offer on, it's £5.50. £5.50 for a little tub of Ben & Jerry's. It's outrageous what they charge for that. £5.50. You get the same thing in Aldi, very, very similar, £1.99. The one I bought was cookies and cream, and actually, I prefer the taste of the Aldi one than the Ben & Jerry's one. Cookies and cream, absolutely delicious. So I had a little bit of that. Then I went to bed for a sleeper, and then I went to work last night. We had a cabaret from Miss Tissue. That was it, Miss Tissue, and she was all right. Bad audience last night. Bad audience. No one was laughing. No one was sort of joining in or laughing at all last night, and I felt it's difficult for an act when that happens. Her jokes were okay, they were all right, they were funny enough, but there was no one laughing, not many people joining in. You thought, why on earth have you bothered coming out? On the other hand, the pub is very near Islington, and that's what they're like, I'm afraid. That's what that's what the people of Islington, they don't have much of a sense of humour. Mind you, living in Islington, I mean, you and I could never afford to own a place in Islington. You couldn't. Would you actually want to live there? Absolutely not. What a dump. What an absolute... So what? They've got all these restaurants along here, but it's just traffic, and noise, and hundreds of people all over the place. Ghastly place, dear. Absolutely ghastly. And to cap it all, their MP is Jeremy Corbyn. I mean, it can't get much worse than that, can it? God blimey. Can you just imagine having Jeremy Corbyn as your MP? Oh, I would have to move straight out, dear. Oh, the other thing I must apologise for is I did promise you an emergency broadcast yesterday once I'd got a vegan sausage roll from Gregg's the Bakers. Guess what? No vegan sausage rolls in Gregg's the Bakers. They've actually got a sign up saying, we've got no vegan sausage rolls left. They'll be back in a few weeks, not tomorrow. They've completely sold out. They've completely sold out of vegan sausage rolls. They must have been all frozen. I mean, I don't know how that works. They got none left. And they won't have any for weeks, apparently, according to the person in Gregg. So unfortunate that. That's why there was no emergency broadcast. No vegan sausage rolls left in Gregg. Have you eaten them all? Have you eaten them all? How fat can you be? I bet you have, haven't you? You've eaten all the vegan sausage rolls. You naughty person. All these people are jumping on the vegan thing. We've got the McDonald's now. Now, that's either a vegetarian or a vegan wrap, isn't it? A vegan or vegetarian wrap. It's one of the two. I can't remember. And it looks... My sister looked at the picture of it, which shows, it's like a... you can see all the sweet corn. She said, oh, that don't look very nice. She don't like the look of it, my sister. Look delicious to me. The only thing with wraps in McDonald's, they look very small to me. Am I just being greedy? They look really small. How can you possibly eat one of those? You need 2 or 3 of them. Well, I would anyway. So I will try one of the vegan wraps. Actually, I wonder if my brother-in-law. My sister said that I should do a show with my brother-in-law. You'd like him if you've not seen him before. You would actually. He's very very like me. I didn't realise how alike we were, and we are. We might do. I wonder if he'd be up for trying a McDonald's vegan wrap, and we can sample it, and my sister as well. We could do that. Actually, we could do a little recorded insert for you in perhaps one of next week's shows or something like that. Maybe we'll try that. So we got the McDonald's are doing it. I noticed Marks and Spencer's. There was an advert for Marks and Spencer's now advertising their new vegan-friendly section. They've got a whole range of stuff which is vegan-friendly. And also, when I was going to Gregg's yesterday to try and get one of those sausage rolls that they haven't got any left, I walked past TGI Fridays, and they too have now got a vegan burger. So they're all jumping on this now. They're all jumping on this. The whole vegan thing, yeah, I can go along with it. I'm afraid I don't go along with the whole militant thing, you know, when they start screaming and shouting, you know, this is murder, this, that. Well, we all know it is, you know, if you're going to eat a chicken has been murdered. We know that. We know that. Okay? But just the whole, you know, the whole militant thing that people are like, and that's not for me at all. You know, if you want to be a vegan, I'd love to be a vegan, then fantastic. But don't start screaming, oh, you murderer, you're eating murdered chicken. Don't start screaming and shouting at people in bloody restaurants and things like that. You know, that's not for me at all. But good luck to them. So I might go in Fridays at some point as well and have a vegan burger. A vegan burger in there. We'll certainly do the McDonald's thing, and I'll ask Martin if he wants to do that. Okay, right, let's just read some of your messages coming through this morning. Let's just, we've got to go right back there, haven't we? Let's have a look. Blimey. Well, that's a long way. Oh, there we go. Right, I'm there. Angela says, I think your jacket looks like a Sunday morning yawn. You don't like this one, do you? I must wear it more often. If it's offending people, then all the better. Thank you. Dear me. Liam, do you have a life outside of Facebook Live? Yes, thank you, Liam. A very good one. I go swimming. I go down the shops. I enjoy my music. Yes, I do, Liam. Do you? Why are you sitting there watching this rubbish? Haven't you got something else to do? What a sad, lonely, pathetic life you live. Sitting there watching people sitting in studios talking. Haven't you got something else to do? Weird City Citizen. People are too vanilla. Yeah, they're too ordinary. That's exactly what they are. Hello to Rob Kershaw, who's in Yorkshire, a beautiful part of the country. Good morning to you. Angela went to a concert and saw You Am I and Hoodoo Gurus and British India and Super Jets. Have you heard of them? No, none of them. Who are they? Who's Super Jesus? Is that a group? That's a good name for a group, isn't it? Super Jesus. I like that name. Liam, why do I talk so much rubbish? Because that's what I do, mate. If you don't like it, turn it off. Simple as that. Morning to Kevin Webster, who's under a landlord. Oh, is he nice? Does he charge you less rent when you go under him, Kevin? Dear. John Parrish, it's been proven that vegans and vegetarians do more damage to the environment than us meat eaters. Yeah, if you say so, John. If you say so. Rob, basically all the rent the lady has ever paid is going to be paid back into the refurbishment of the flat. No, Rob. No, I sat there and worked it out, actually. The rent the lady's paid over the years, more than enough, covers the refurbishment by I don't know, 100 times. Absolutely, yeah. It's the refurbishment that has to be done in that flat is actually very small in comparison to what we've made on that one over the years. So yeah, Michael, how many properties do you have? A few, Michael. A few. Brad was Brad is interested in home improvement. I'm not, as I say, I can't do DIY myself. I'm completely useless. Absolutely useless. Good morning to Colin. Morning, Colin. Shania noticed McDonald's are now doing veggie stuff. Yes, indeed. I really want to try one of those wraps, but I think I'll have to buy two, to be honest. It's like the apple pies in McDonald's. They are delicious. McDonald's apple pies, but so small. So small. I had to have 2 of those. And always be careful, the filling might be hot. It says it on there. It says it on it there. Like... Michael, if you go vegan, Chris, you can't have any meat in your mouth. Well, I don't now. I don't now, dear. Nothing like that, okay? Good. Rightio, we've got some news stories here for you boys and girls. Now, look at this. Do you need a daytime nap? How many of you have a daytime nap? I do it every day. Every single day I have a daytime nap. But this might not be a good thing. This is in the Daily Mail this morning. People who often take a nap during the day are more at risk of developing dementia. Now, I never even thought of this. Scientists believe. Those who like a daytime snooze, which is me, I usually go to bed for a couple of hours, tended to have more something proteins, tau proteins, I think. The form tangles in the brain, causing dementia. And a lack of sleep fuels rogue proteins in the brain that destroys neurons, say scientists. Now, I don't lack sleep. Last night, for example, I went to bed about 2:30, 3 o'clock, 4, 5, 6, and I'm up again at 7:20 on a Sunday. I do not feel tired. Okay, I don't feel tired. I will catch up with a couple of hours this afternoon, you see. The other thing you can't do with sleep, and I've read before, you can't bank sleep. So if, for example, you've got a long day tomorrow, say you've got to be up for 15 hours, you can't try and sleep for 12 hours now to get ready for that 15. It doesn't quite work like that. The story goes on. A study of more than 100 older people found those not getting enough quality shut-eye had more tau. That's what I just said to you. The tau, that's that thing that gets tangled in your brain. Leading to memory loss and confusion. It could lead to nocturnal habits being monitored to help identify patients most at risk of the devastating condition, because that's just awful dementia. We've all known people with dementia, I'm sure. What is the thing Barbara Windsor's got at the moment? Is that dementia? I saw somewhere she's got to have 24-hour care now. The great Barbara Windsor, wonderful actress. And so pretty. Isn't she pretty? Even now, like she's in is she late 60s or 70s? She still, I see that woman. Age is nothing for beauty. There's some very, very good looking people in their older age. You know, especially those around about 55, male, sitting, doing talk shows. Most of them are really, really good looking, aren't they? Don't you think? It goes on. In particular, it is deep, restorative, slow-wave sleep, SWS, that is essential. This declines naturally as we age in men from the mid-30s and women during their 50s. It says the key is it wasn't the total amount of sleep that was linked to tau. It was the slow-wave sleep, which reflects quality of sleep. So then it gets a bit more complicated there, and I'm not going to read the rest of it there because quite honestly I can't understand what it's saying. But that's interesting. So they're saying now that if you have a little bit of a sleep in the afternoon, you may be more susceptible to dementia. Strange that, isn't it? Roy says Chris obviously sleeps too much, as none as balmy as him. I'm sure you're right. Rob, is this one of the Sun newspapers pull a condition and cause out of a hat and make a story out of it? Well, it's a Daily Mail, but I think you're probably right, Rob. Oh, is it me? Do you know what? I keep seeing the same. You open any newspaper now, they've all got the same stories in them. Have you noticed that? Tomorrow, go out and get a load, or just look online at all the different newspapers. They've all got the same blooming stories in it. Dreadful. I don't know, some of these journalists now, they just sit there cutting and pasting. And the spelling mistakes I keep coming across now in newspapers. You know, this is ever since they took the page 3 girl out of the Sun. I'm sure some of you are very disappointed about that. Do you remember old Sam Fox? Oh, she always had them out there in the newspaper. Oh, not allowed to do that now, in case it upsets the feminists. Oh, we're really offended by that. Well, fine. Can we replace it with Oh, there's a new footballer I quite like now. Who is it? Let me see if I can find him. We're going to leave Cristiano Ronaldo from now because I've discovered a new younger one, which I like even better. Now I think he's just about to join somewhere. He might be from Portugal. Not sure. I think all Portuguese footballers are particularly good looking. Do you? Have you noticed that? Look at old Cristiano. Was he Portuguese or Spanish? One of the two. Oh, I can't find it now. I did have this earlier. Oh, of course, now it's nowhere to be seen, is it? He might be about to join Manchester United. If someone said the name, I'd know. Does anyone know who I mean? Does his name begin with C? Or maybe it's the Daily Mirror. Hang on a minute. Let's try the Mirror. Is it all transfer news? Nope, that's not the one. There he is. Philippe Coutinho. Coutinho? But Philippe Coutinho. There he is. Oh, it's gorgeous. Have you looked at him, girls? Very, very tasty indeed. Yes. Move aside Cristiano Ronaldo. Bye-bye. Too old now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We're moving in Philippe Coutinho, who's going to do something with Manchester United. Very, very nice indeed. That's the new one we're watching now, girls. All right, keep an eye on that one. Roy says on the subject of the lovely Barbara Windsor, she's developing Alzheimer's. Now, is Alzheimer's similar to dementia or is it completely different? You will have to advise me on that because I don't know. Okay? She's developing Alzheimer's, which when she isn't out and about and busy, her mind drifts. Does it? Okay. Is that the secret? Keeping busy all the time, I wonder. I do believe that, actually. When people retire, a lot of people retire, they fall into the armchair. A couple of years, they're dead. I think you need something to keep your mind busy. I really do. Some sort of hobby. I mean, sitting here doing this, I sit here and I think of things. What can I say? What can I write? What can I talk about today? What news stories? And I look over them all and I get everything ready. And then I'm chatting away and I'm buzzing here talking to you. Buzzing away here. So I suppose I really think you should keep your mind and body very active once you've finished work or even if you're unemployed and young. You know, if you're 20 years old, okay, and you sit down in front of a computer game every day, that ain't going to do you any good, is it? You've got to do something. Even if you haven't got a job, you've got to put your mind to some sort of good use. Reading, I think, is probably a really good thing. I've got a book at the moment. My sister bought me for Christmas. My sister and husband's bought it for Christmas about Bruce Forsyth's life, which I've just started reading. But I'm not really a big reader. I tend to read... I tend to read about things that I've interest in. You know, so I might type in later on here, renewable energy, new products or something. I'm quite into renewable. I like renewable energy, you know, solar power, wind power, electric cars. I love all that business. Anything like that. I tend to type in and find out about things like that. But reading a novel or a biography, not really my thing. Although I have done before. I've got a biography of the two Ronnies somewhere. I'm sure I have. Now, who bought me that years ago? I would like to read more. I must say, when I'm in my caravan, okay, after I've come back from, say, visiting one of my nieces and nephews or my sister or we've been out or somewhere, I sometimes sit in there, I make a cup of tea and I put it down. I'll just put the telly on and I thought, well, what do I want to watch? There's nothing I want to watch. And then I might open a book and sit there in complete quietness in my caravan up north. I love it. I love it. Rob, Barbara Windsor has Alzheimer's. Thank you. Roy, buy a yellow vest and be trendy. I've got one down. I've got a yellow one and I've got a yellow and orange one that I wear on my bike. Shall I wear it tomorrow? Even old Barry Manilow's wearing a yellow. Yeah, he's one of the yellow vest people. He's in France setting things alight at the moment, Barry Manilow. Rob, the news story for the Sun tomorrow is using a smartphone causes erectile dysfunction. Well, it's something you suffered from a while, is it, Rob? Perhaps I can help you with that. Aren't we awful, dear? What's the time? Is it 12:15 already? Good God, I must go and get my dinner on. My mate's coming around soon for lunch today. I tell you what, The Voice. I quite like The Voice. Now, I haven't watched any of it this year except the one that someone put up a clip with Tom Jones last week. I think it was on last week's Voice. I like The Voice because it doesn't take the piss out of people. And this is my big bugbearer with X Factor. So those judges can be blooming horrible. They really are. I don't understand why every single programme on the telly at the moment that's on peak time has to have a panel of judges. What's all that about? What happened to just going on and doing your thing? Now, what I like about The Voice is that clearly they're not judges. They're not. You've got to already have reached a certain standard before you get on that programme. And they don't judge. No one is nasty towards the contestant. No one comes on the stage and says, oh, you're really bad. Who's been telling you that you can sing? They don't have any of that, which you do get on the X Factor. Right? With The Voice, they come on, they sing the song, and if someone likes them, the person pushes the button, the chair turns around, and they take them on as like a as an advisor. Like, so if Tom Jones turns around, he becomes the advisor for whoever, right? And last week on The Voice, Tom Jones turns around, and this is a lad singing about, I don't know, about 28 years old, 25, 28, something like that. And he says, that's great. What's your name? And he says something, I can't remember his first name, something Donegan. He said, you're no relation to Lonnie Donegan, I suppose, are you? And he said, well, actually, yes, I'm his son. And Tom's face, wow. And it turns out that Lonnie Donegan, and I didn't know any of this, Lonnie Donegan wrote a song for Tom Jones years ago, and they sung it together and they'd done lots of work together. And then he says, I don't suppose you know that song, do you? And the son said, yeah, well, yes, and I can play it on the piano. And there's a piano already set up. So I suppose it was already arranged, but that's neither here nor there. And then, of course, Lonnie Donegan, who died some years ago, his son then walked over to the piano, and Tom is singing the song. Tom, if this was a recording, I would have cut that there, you see. Tom is singing the song that this boy's father had wrote for Tom, and now he's singing it with his son. And that was just a special moment. That was so special. And as always, when I get stuff like this on the telly, the little tears run out of my glass eye. They really do. It was wonderful, and I do like The Voice. I do like The Voice. One of the people on there as well, of course, is the great will.i.am, who I really like. He's such a wonderful personality. And in the Daily Mirror this morning, it says, The Voice fans were floored on Saturday as they learnt Judge... He's not a judge. He's not a judge. He's a consultant, advisor, whatever you want to call him. Actually, he's got a similar jacket onto mine. Does he get the hassle that I get this morning? I've got this morning. The Voice fans for Flores, as will.i.am's real age was found out. The Black Eyed Peas star revealed how old he was after Cedric Neal's incredible audition. I haven't seen this, so I don't know who that is. Which saw Will turn around alongside all of his fellow judges. After musical theatre performer Cedric announced that he was 43 years old, Will interrupted that he was the same age in a bid to win his alliance. However, viewers at home could not believe his impossible confession, rushing to social media to express their surprise. What, did they think he was younger then? Shocked to find... Here's a tweeter here. Shocked to find will.i.am is 43. Impossible, one viewer wrote. Meanwhile, another agreed. Neither Will or this guy look 43. Now, who's the other guy then? Is there a picture of him there? Let's have a look. Because Will, of course, is black. And it's a fact that the black don't crack. Black people are very, very lucky in that none of them look their age. None of them look their age, ever. There isn't a picture of the other bloke. It's just got... Hang on a minute. Is that the other bloke there? I don't know if that's... No, that's. Do you know, Will? He looks completely different with glasses. No, hang on, it is. That's the other bloke there, isn't it? Oh yeah, that is the other bloke. Yeah, because he's got no hair. That's the other bloke there. He's the one with the multicoloured patchwork type jacket on. And none of them look their age. I was on holiday once in St. Lucia, and there was a guy there, a black guy there, and he was doing this tour, and they were selling soap, but it wasn't soap. It was literally blocks of mud, and it was all a sales pitch really. And this bloke was saying, so he's showing us this little waterfall thing, you know, surrounded by mud and all that business. And he said to all of us, he said, how old do you think I am? So we're all guessing, 35, 36, no one went above 40. And he says, I'm 63 years old. And wow, what? And the reason I'm 60, I look like this is because I use this. And then he produces this brick of mud and then proceeds to sell it to all the Americans who will buy anything from you. I remember years ago when Princess Diana died and they built the fountain and people were selling water from Princess Diana's fountain on eBay and the Americans were buying bucket loads of this stuff. And of course they started buying these blocks of mud from this bloke, didn't they? Dear me. So it's true, black people are very lucky. They just don't age the rest of us. Mind you, I mean, I could be black. Look at me. You wouldn't put me further than 28 years old, would you? Be honest. You wouldn't. I can take it. All right, 29 at a push. I can tell, yeah. Rob, watch on YouTube about The Voice, and one of the contestants that went on, I can't really explain. Okay, I'll have a little. They treat contestants like crap. Well, a lot of those shows are like that, Rob. Television. I remember people going to Top of the Pops years ago. They hated it. They went to Top of the Pops and they said we're just pushed around the studio like cattle at Top of the Pops, didn't they? Hello to Michael, who's in Queensland, Australia. I like the coat you're wearing. Where did you get it from? Come from China, a place called Rosegal, ROSEGAL.com. Rosegal.com, ROSEGAL, Rosegal.com. They've got all sorts of jackets in there, dirt cheap, 30 Australian, probably, something like that. And there's so many different. I've got 3 coming. They've been coming now since. They do take some time to come. I must warn you that. Can take 6 or 7 weeks for stuff to arrive from China, but it always gets here eventually. And funnily enough, I got an email from them last week saying that they were on the way, but dirt cheap. They're only thin things, but they look all right. I quite like the look of them. Good. Chris, you're in your 20s. Thank you, Michael. Michael, I'm yours. Whenever you want that date, you just ask me out and I'll be round there, mate. I look 20, apparently, according to Michael. Thank you very much. Are they the jackets I sent the link about, Chris? Don't remember seeing a link, Roy. Don't know. Do you want to send it again? And I'll have a little look when I've finished. All right? Okie doke, boys and girls. Let's do today's birthdays. Then I've got to get potatoes in the oven for when my mate comes around later. We'll do today's birthdays and... tomorrow, yesterday's birthdays as well, because we weren't here yesterday. There's only 2 today. Brenda Nathan. Good morning, Brenda. 72 years old. I'm not sure, but you might well be one of our Manilo ladies. Good morning, Brenda. Happy birthday to you. And Mark Healy. Good morning, Mark. It's his birthday as well on this Sunday, Sunday the 13th of January 2019. And yesterday's birthdays, we had quite a few yesterday. Here we go. Kirsty Pawley, 40 years old on Saturday, January the 12th. Korin Heller was 31 yesterday. Good morning, Korin. Adam Showes was 35 years old yesterday. James Darwin yesterday. Dan Stedman, I haven't seen you for a while, Dan. Good morning. Happy birthday for yesterday. Chris Ireland, good morning. Happy birthday for yesterday. Doron Weisenberg, 47 years old yesterday. And Michelle Carberry. Good morning, Michelle. Long time no see. Happy birthday to you all, boys and girls. Here comes a little song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Morning to Paul Dale this morning. Paul, you join us right at the end of the show. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. We're about to low. Brian, good morning, Brian. Brian Rolls says, Al Jolston looked his age. Yes, he did. And also Sammy Davis Jr. Sammy Davis Jr. looked his age as well. But yeah, some people have got it. Paul's birthday is the 3rd of February. Oh, you're close to mine, Paul. Mine's the 5th. Yours is the 3rd and mine's the 5th. We have birthdays close together, Paul, don't we? Anyway, that's it for the show today. Thanks ever so much for joining us. Been an absolute pleasure to talk to you as always. Thank you to those of you that took the time and trouble to share the show onto your Facebook walls. If you're watching on YouTube or you haven't watched on YouTube and you want to watch on there instead next time, then feel free. YouTube.com/Chris Reardon UK is my YouTube. YouTube.com/Chris Reardon UK. Just click the subscribe button on there as well, and you'll be in. So whenever there's a show, you get some sort of notification. If you've been watching on Periscope, I'm afraid we don't get your messages on Periscope for some reason. They just don't come through. And I've spoken to the streaming people a couple of times before, but no real reply there. It just doesn't work, I'm afraid. Have a nice Sunday, and I'll see you again, hopefully at some time tomorrow morning. Good day to you now. Bye-bye.